I want to let everybody know from the Muslim community that's not a part of the NOI, you ain't affiliated with Richard or Lil Durk or no Rick Ross or none of them niggas that tried to drug me and do me wrong. I don't mean no harm.
Oh yeah, and he's claiming that the rapper Lil Durk and the rapper Rick Ross are the ones that drugged him, got with the Muslims in the bank, double sold his house. They drugged him, double sold his house so they can take his brand and give it to a man who's in jail, which is Rashad Jamal. That's what he's saying. They all can. The rappers got together with some random guys from Buffalo and got some random chick from Buffalo to go down there and drug him. Then them and the Muslims supposedly got with the bank, sold him the house, and then sold it to somebody else. Let him live there for 3 or 4 years and then kick him out of it, just so they can take his brand and give it to somebody who is in jail. That's his story. That's what he's trying to tell the world.
When we talking about Rashad Jamal, the one that was screwed off,
the one
was accused of touching or molesting, and I seen he had a body on him or something in another state.
One. Yeah, that nigga got the rap sheet of Freddy Krueger.
Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today.
Yeah, see, this is what they do though. This is why I use the word Hotep Hustlers, because these dudes, all of them have a criminal background, I made this point all the way back. It's me and Haven Bullets and a few other dudes from years ago made that point that a lot of these, all the way back to Dr. Mayat was involved with check scams and stuff in the bank.
And without any further ado, I bring to you Dr. Mayat. Let's talk about it, sister. How you doing? Introduce yourself to the family.
Sonetta, you have not been playing good chess, brother.
agenda created to try to destroy young Pharaoh by any means necessary. This agenda will clearly not succeed, but we must bring this agenda to the forefront of the people, as I always do. So, just like the title of this video states, family, Dr. Mayat, aka Deanna Bailey, has pressed fraudulent, fictitious charges against me. She, according to her, I'm just finding this out recently, but it's been confirmed, that she is pressing harassment charges against me. According to her, I've been harassing her.
Now, how many people we know last year that was in jail, that had criminal records, that was in jail for even some murder shit? You understand? But got out. Don't have to go to the jail. Came into the conscious community. You understand? But got out. Don't have to go to the jail. Came into the conscious community.
Family, I got the documents. Don't worry. This is from the United States Department of Justice. It don't get no deeper than that, bitch. The only motherfucker you could get documents from more official than this is George Washington himself. That's the only motherfucker. This is from the United States Attorney's Office, the Attorney District of Maryland, Department of Justice, U.S. Attorney's Office, District of Maryland, for immediate release, Monday, February 24, 2013, Baltimore drug dealer sentence and money laundering scheme.
Damn.
And this is how they got him. He got busted. When he got busted, they gave him an ultimatum. We can get you out. He's facing time. We can get you out. Let's listen.
I'm not done. Hold on. Now these gonna be important factors, family. Because when I show y'all the niggas that she snitched on, y'all gonna see that they got the same district attorney and the same agent on their motherfucking case. So the district attorney's last name is Rosenstein. I'm gonna give y'all his full name here. His last name is Rosenstein, and the agent who arrested him is Gary Tuchel. Okay? Now listen here, family. Dr. Mayat was sentenced February 24, 2014 to 46 months and 2 years post-release in prison. She got knocked May 2nd, 2013, and she told on her team a month after that, they got knocked June 6, 2013. So she snitched on them, and they went to jail 30 days damn near after her.
Dang.
Now why is this important? They were all convicted by the same district attorney and agent who grabbed her ass. Now you might say, Pharaoh, that don't mean Dr. Mayat no snitch. Nigga, Dr. Mayat took a plea in 2014. She was sentenced, not just took the plea, she was sentenced. I'm gonna give you the sentencing date. In 2014, bitch, it's 2016, she's still walking around. She's still walking around. Do you know how long? 46 months is 4 years, which means if she was sentenced in 2014, she should still have a minimum of 2 years left and be out. When she get out, she should be out on goddamn 2 years parole. She ain't even did a day. And guess who got her on the couch and knew the whole time? Side motherfucking chat. Side motherfucking chat. And guess who got her on the couch and knew the whole time? Side motherfucking chat. Side motherfucking chat. And guess who got her on the couch and knew the whole time? Side motherfucking chat. Side motherfucking chat.
Nigga. See, you want people to think, oh, it's just agents inside of the House of Consciousness. See, you're a fool if you think that. I'm not a fool. That's why I said, hell yeah, there's agents up in here somewhere. I just ain't spot them and put them out yet.
Who is Unc's crack pipe? Who is Unc's crack pipe? Who is Unc's crack pipe?
The indigenous original one of the Americas. I'm reloaded!
Carrie Krause and her husband had their Chase Health Savings account compromised 2 years ago. They live in Texas. Deputies say 31-year-old Tampa call center employee Dakima Williams stole their information.
It was a collaboration of several Kent County departments that led to 3 arrests over the last several days. 3 ringleaders of the group.
And new this morning, M&T Bank Corporation has to give up more than $500,000 in drug money laundered through the branch in Perry Hall. A head teller at that branch was sentenced for helping change small bills from drug deals into $100 bills for a customer. A teller will spend a month in prison and has to give up $5,000 the customer gave her for helping out. The customer was sentenced to 46 months in jail. The customer was sentenced to 46 months in jail.
So I like to say Almond Raw Squad up.
I stand on the shoulders of the Almond Raw Squad. That's right. We are the Almond Raw Squad. It's in the building. Make no mistake about that. The Almond Raw Squad, Sarnetta, is like hand in hand. We both one and the same.
Dr. Mayad, Almond Raw Squad. You wouldn't know us if it wasn't a brother like Sarnetta. I remember the...
And she got a little bit of time, and I remember, matter of fact, when she was getting into it with Pharaoh really dug that stuff up and put it out there. That Haven Bullets jumped in on it too, and I had used that when I did a series called The Rise and Fall of the House of Convicts, and I did like 9 videos from the beginning to the end, chronicalizing all of the foolishness that a lot of them have done. Now, a lot of us, of course, a lot of people have done street things and then stopped and did something else. But these particular individuals do street things and they run right into, where Sarnetta opened the door up and let them come in. And when you look at these individuals, then one, they have no shame. They have no respect, and like City, and that's why I did the videos, which has got other parts coming. I just dropped called the Hotep Hustlers. It was called a Historical Jesus Part 8 in the Hotep Hustlers. So it's got 2 more videos coming after that. And City, if he wasn't so belligerent with the cursing and stuff over the early years, number one, that was already not showing respect to those that came before him and how to debate more intellectually. That was one big elephant in the room. But then, Seti used to talk about how he sold drugs to get money to go to Kemet and come back. Right. I even heard I heard him say that about cocaine, and even was even saying he encouraged the youngins to do what they, again, these are things that clash with what the elders before him taught. And if you saying you pro-black, and if y'all putting that on pro-blackness, and y'all trying to put that on Garvey, which is not correct, because they're mixing Black Pantherism with Pan-Africanism.
Black Pantherism. I like that.
Right. So that's not what you do. And so,
That's
when
a fact.
so you have to separate it. If you're talking about red, black, and green, and you talking about Garvey, because the Panthers had their own type of color, which is black. With the
Wasn't Sarnetta a Panther or something like that?
Huh?
Wasn't Sarnetta a Panther or NOI? One of those?
He claimed to have been a part of that and would call it mom, but that's
Oh yeah, he was a follower of Khalid Muhammad, wasn't he?
right. He wasn't a part of that group way back then. But what I'm saying is, when we strip it down, red, black, and green, and you talking about Pan-Africanism, then you have to go into Garvey and then look at the Garvey and then ask you, and then those who understand that say, well, did Garvey at any point say sell drugs or do any kind of crime to get to Africa? And if he didn't, then that means Seti was instituting his own personal thing. Why? Because he had to justify what he was doing. And this is what makes it corrupt, because now you're using somebody who didn't teach that, and you're bringing it up to date. And again, we had people in the Black Panther Party who were drug dealers and drug users, right? And got murdered, and drugs was through in the game, whether that was done purposely by the FBI or whatever. But the point is, they're mixing two different type of individuals, and that's the problem.
Two different like genres,
right? And you can't do that. You can't mix it and then say this is what it is. That's why they had so much problems in this in their whole teaching thing. Pharaoh.
Purchase your tracks today.
Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another Sarnetta TV House of Consciousness production. Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another Sarnetta TV House of Consciousness. Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another Sarnetta TV House of Consciousness.
You meant to call it peace and wartime. Before we get into the clip that I want to use, I wanted to ask the question again. And if you've seen the intro, this is a question that I'm asking. What are the Black Power House of Consciousness rules? And when you look into Black Power is not what y'all Negroes are saying. And when you do a search on the internet and just look up and throw in Black Power, you see all types of stuff. You see Angela Davis. You see a black fist over here with the American flag going down because it's dealing with communism. In Russia, you got the black men at the 1968 Olympics throwing their fist up, right? You got all these different examples of Black Power. You even got people throwing their fist up at Black Lives Matter. What does that mean? There's not a set definition for Black Power in these days and time, or is it? Just look at this. People got the afros. Y'all have no idea what Black Power is. The same way they run around the term Black Lives Matter and made it synonymous with Black Power. But let's go back to the source. Now you gotta go to this, the Black Power movement, right? It said the Black Power movement was a social movement motivated by a desire for safety and self-sufficiency that was not available inside red-lined African-American neighborhoods. Black Power activists found at black-owned bookstores, food cooperatives, farms, media, printing presses, school clinics, ambulance service. International impact of the movement includes the Black Power Revolution in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, if we look at just the things that they were doing, that's not happening over there in the House of Consciousness. Because we don't see black-owned bookstores, because you have other people's books being sold out there on the street, right along with their DVDs and stuff. So, according to this, you're not following Black Power movement. You don't see that. That's why I keep saying there's no standards. I'm asking again for a friend. What are the rules to the Black Power House of Consciousness? All right, by the late 1960s, Black Power came to represent the demand for more immediate violent action to counter American white supremacy. All right, that's Black Lives Matter now. And guess what? It ain't just black people. It's more non-blacks doing that now. So that means the Black Power movement been took over by Black Lives Matter, who's ran by a bunch of lesbians who are what? Black. Who says that the black man has no position in there. Only women and children and transgender. And the homosexuals there. So the Black Power movement is actually BLM. What are you talking about? Black power don't exist in what y'all talk in the way that you thinking about it. And based off of this, you don't do this. You do a little bit of white power and black power and stop being killed by the police. But guess what? You don't do that enough because there's no money in that. Because the people that's sucking all that money is all of the people we already seen out there. Black Lives Matter and all these different groups that done came up, and Trayvon Martin and them dirty lawyers that been getting paid off of that boy death. All them people is already out there. You ain't finna go in that lane. You can't hang with that. Because what his name is, George Soros and them is backing them. Because we need to understand what are the rules, because it seems that you following something else. By the late 1960s, Black Power came to represent the demand for more immediate violent action to counter American white supremacy. Most of these ideas were influenced by Malcolm X's criticism of Martin Luther King Jr.'s peaceful protest methods. The 1965 assassination of Malcolm X, coupled with the urban riots of 1964 and 65, ignited the movement. That's right. Y'all don't understand. Y'all talk about counterintelligence. Y'all don't know about these other groups. New organizations that supported Black Power philosophies range from the adoption of socialism by certain sects of the movement to Black nationalism, including the Black Panther Party, grew to prominence. Now, when you start talking about Black nationalism, now you're going into a group that's talking about what Marcus Garvey was talking about. All right? But that's not the part we're going to look at. The part we're going to look at is this one. Socialism. Because the Black Panther Party, most of the leaders were socialists. So it says socialism is a political, social, and economic philosophy encompassing a range of economic and social systems characterized by social ownership of the means of production and democratic control, such as worker self-management of enterprise. It includes the political theories and movement. Now, so let's go into socialism. Right? When you look at it, let's go down to who started socialism. Look at this. The socialist political movement includes a set of political philosophies that originated in the revolutionary movements of the mid to late 18th century and out of concern for the social problems that were associated with capitalism. By the late 19th century, after the work of Karl Marx and his collaborator Frederick Engels, socialism had come to signify opposition to capitalism. So now, when you go into the Black Panther Party, they said they was against capitalism. They were tired of being treated like a worker. Well, if you understand what Karl Marx is, who he is, and Marxism, you understand what I'm finna show you. Now, y'all keep hollering Black Power, right? That's what I keep hearing Sarnetta say. Peace and Black Power, right? And everybody that calls in or been there, I ain't heard them straighten this trash out yet. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. Because Sarnetta say he hate the white man, right? And there's millions of videos he done made doing that. But look at Karl Marx. This Karl Marx, a Caucasian. You sound like an idiot. He the one that started socialism. And the Black Panthers was a part of socialism. They had socialism in there and Pan-Africanism. But Pan-Africanism was talking about, Garvey told them, go back to Africa. So now y'all mixing Pan-Africanism and socialism with each other, and they don't mix. So Marx's critical theories about society, economics, politics, collective understood as Marxism, okay? Hold that human society developed through class conflict. This is what you do. You create and perpetuate class conflict. You're doing it now in the form of religion versus non-religion. So to an extent by what it means, you definitely are Marxist. All right. It says this manifests itself in the conflict between what? The ruling classes known as bourgeoisie, or let's say bourgeoisie, that controls the means of production, and working classes known as the proletariat. All right, so basically it means it's a sociologically defined social class equivalent to the middle or upper middle classes. They are distinguished from and traditionally contrasted with the proletariat by the relative influence in their culture and financial capital. They are sometimes divided into a petty, and it goes on to something else. Then this is the social class of wage earners, those members of a society whose only possess of significant economic value is the labor power. A member of such a class, they call it a proletarian. Marxist philosophy considers the proletarian. Let me go into this one. A member of such a class is a proletarian. Marxist philosophy considers the proletariat to be exploited under capitalism, forced to accept meager wages in return for operating the means of production, which belongs to the class of business owners, the bourgeoisie. Marx argued that this oppression gives the proletariat common economic and political interests that transcend national boundaries, impelling them to unite and take over power from the capitalist class, and eventually create a communist society free from class distinctions. Again, look what it says before we go into that. So this is what Polite and all of y'all are doing. Y'all trying to get money because you tired of being what he consider a proletarian or the lower class. All right, you see how y'all playing out what they call Marxism. He calls it the low wages is called a proletarian. All right, now look at this. The proletariat constituted a social class of Roman citizens who own little or no property. So now, not just black people, all of us who are considered low class is still living how they lived in Rome. Because America has components of Rome and Greece. This is why the homosexuality is so strong, because Rome and Greece was into that real heavy in the public. Just like Kemet, in different times of rulership, they was engaging in it, but they hid it behind the type of animals that they chose to as they face of gods. The Romans and the Greeks showed it in their architecture, and they walked around in right in front of you. You see men with the little boys and all of that. In Kemet and other places, they hid it. There's no way around that. All right, so now we looking at what we talking about Marxism. It's a form of socialism, and that is what the Black Panther Party got their black power stuff from. So now it makes no sense. All right, but so before we jump into the next point, I'm gonna throw a clip in there with Bobby Seale giving y'all the 10-point program of the Black Panthers.
I got to explain to you also your soul, your needs, your political desires and needs, because that is Huey's soul. When we first organized the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, he would say, Bobby, he says, we're going to draw up a basic platform, just basic, that black people can read. He says, we don't want to go real elaborate with all these essays and dissertations and all this stuff, because the brother gonna look at that and he can say, man, I ain't got time for that. I gotta go see what I can do for myself. It's just a basic platform that the mothers who struggle hard to raise us, that the fathers who worked hard, that the young brothers in school who come out of school semi-illiterate. You say we want freedom, we want power to determine the destiny of our black community. Full employment for our people. Number 3, we want housing fit, decent housing fit for shelter of human beings. Number 4, we want all black men to be exempt from military service. Number 5, we want decent education for our black people in our community that teaches us the true nature of this decadent racist society, and to teach black people and our young black brothers and sisters their place in the society, because if they don't know their place in society and in the world, they can't relate to anything else. Number 6, We want an end to the robbery by the white racist businessman of black people and black people in their community. Number 7, we want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of black people. Number 8, we want all black men held in county, state, federal jails and prisons to be released because they have not had a fair trial, because they've been tried by all white juries, and that's just like being tried in Germany being a Jew. Number 8, we want black people, number 9, when brought to trial, to be tried by members of their peers. And a peer being one who comes from the same economic, social, religious, historical, and racial background. If the United States government and the courts and the local courts did this, they would have to choose black people from the black community to sit up on the jury. They'd have to choose some of the mothers who've been working 20 years in Miss Ann's kitchen scrubbing floors like my mother done done. They have to choose some of them hard-working fathers. They have to choose some of those brothers who stand on the block out there wondering where they're gonna get a gig. They're gonna have to choose these black people. And number 10, he would say, let's just summarize it. We want housing, we want clothing, we want education, we want justice, and we want peace. This is the basic platform. In case you never knew it or not, of all the things that you've heard in the press, of all the derogatory statements that's been made in the press about Brother Huey P. Newton and I, of all these derogatory statements to guide you away from seeing this basic platform that Huey was talking about for his own people. We have to learn to look through the white press. We have to learn to see what's going on. Now, out of this platform, Huey P. Newton realized that it was necessary for us to start working on these points, these 10 points practically. Remember number 7? We want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of black people. This is very, very important. And here, whether you know it or not, is where you start dealing with the black revolution. When Huey says every black man put a shotgun in your home, and once we let the man know, say, look, we armed from block to block, and we're gonna patrol you from our windows. And we're not gonna have you brutalizing none of our people in the streets. Do you realize what kind of power black people have then? Because you begin to neutralize that police force, because them cops gonna start riding shaky and scared. In fact, we're in a position then to demand that they withdraw from our community because they occupy our community just like a foreign troop occupies territory. Very important to understand. We hate cops beating black people over their heads and murdering them. That's what we hate.
Again, look at the title. Marxist History, USA Black Panther Party. All right, so again, if you go look into the Communist Manifesto, you'll be very, very surprised. But let's look at the 10 points, right? We want freedom, we want power to determine the destiny of our black community. You say that, you participate in certain things, but that ain't you. All right? That ain't you. We want full employment for our people. Right? We believe the federal government is responsible and obligated to give every man employment or guaranteed income. That ain't gonna happen. That's your natural enemy. We believe that if the white American business will not give full employment, which they ain't haven't. Look at your neighborhood. They let everybody in there. There's a bodega there. They not black. They not African. They not kinky hair. Y'all got this messed up mentality thinking that because a lot of people live with us and amongst us for years, that make them you. No, y'all only are similar or relatable in forms of poverty. Because if people got millions and millions of dollars or means to an end and they intelligent, they not gonna stay in them same kind of conditions. Or they're gonna improve their conditions in their neighborhood, and those who don't want to do the right thing is gonna keep causing problems to keep the neighborhood worse, and y'all gonna have to get rid of them. So we know that this is not what you not saying that. You just talking. You ain't trying to get employment because you getting paid off YouTube and whatever other scams you had going on. So this is not you. But look at the next one. We want an end to the robbery by the capitalists of our black community. That's polite all day, and you. All these people. This is y'all. Everybody knows that. People want the robbery to have something telling you. You don't stand for what they consider black power. You don't stand for that. You're not following the 10-point program, player. That's a fact. We want decent housing. None of this stuff. Because even Polite was saying black power. Black power.
Peace, everybody. First thing I want you to do is give me that black power. Say it like you mean it. And anytime you hear me tell the truth about this weak and wicked white man, I want to hear black power. Have you ever walked outside and was on the same block as a white man or a white woman? It was just you and them. And you felt as though there's this thought that you might do them some harm, or that you might rob them, or you might steal from them. Have you ever felt uncomfortable when by yourself in the presence of a white person? Have you ever felt that they were thinking that you might do something to them? Have you ever felt that? Well,
so once again, we see that this is just an outflow of what some people may call Marxism, but it's just the rich versus the poor.
Oh man, nigga, this shit too easy. Fucking that hoe in my Yeezys. Won't take them off. Soon as I'm done, I'm leaving. She begging me for the stay. I'm having business to handle, can't waste time creeping. She got to thinking I'm bait. I guess it's my fault. My feelings change with the seasons. I cut clothes when it's cold outside, and I get going when it's cold outside. Pull up on them niggas in the oh my god. Pull up on them niggas in the cold ass ride. I used to serve niggas pound every day in a fishbowl rental with an 045. I ain't even have you to scale no more. What half the most nigga waiting on my line? Me and you are not the same. You were meant to me the nigga. I get mad at it, he know me a nigga. I flash, I pull that stick out. Never go back by the bitch. That ain't part of my pimpin'. That ain't how I get down. Yeah, I stop a grown ass man in front of all of his niggas. Let's see who the bitch now.
Rich ain't no coincidence, you with the messy shit, I had to lead a bitch. I get checks and they be confidential, yeah, my number's crazy, I don't need a bitch. Lamborghini with the top off, tryna do the dash, fuck a speeding ticket. Fuck around and got my gang cracking, different labels wanna have a meeting with me. Bitches lying like she creeping with me, knowing damn well she ain't sleeping with me. In the summertime, I had her eat it with me, who the fuck was saying I ain't lit? I just spent 20 racks on my kid's outfit, baby mama bump, she don't got shit. Why you tell my son that I'm not shit? You know I'm the reason that he got shit.